What's up, everyone? Welcome back to QT with a Pod. Hello again. We are back. Maybe I should start my podcast off in a different way. I do start off with hello, but I feel like I should greet you guys. But we are back with yet another episode, and today's topic is Sis, he's just not into you. And of course, the reason I want to talk about this is because this is a struggle, a mental struggle that I've had with myself for about the past month with this guy I've been talking to. So I wanted to share my struggles, share my struggles with the squad because I feel like everyone feels this way. It's hashtag relatable. So, last episode, I talked about when if you're an ice queen or an ice king, and um, the C was for controlling, and I kind of talked about how this guy wasn't texting me when I wanted him to, and blah blah blah. So I'll be talking about that situation and kind of what I came to, what conclusion I came to as a result of that. So, I've been talking to this guy for like, I want to say 2.5 to 3 months ish. And in the beginning, I remember he, the text messages were boring, and I'm personally not a huge texter. I so much rather call, but I also understand that everyone is not comfortable with that, right? So we're texting, and it just felt dry, like he had no personality. And it that's very common when you meet guys from dating apps. It's super common, right? It's just like, who are you? What's your personality? So we eventually, well, rewind. So prior to that, like when we were kind of texting, um, I had already told him on the app, like, oh, you're a horrible texter. Let's see how he would react because your girl loves to push buttons. So said that to him. He took it. He was just like, "Oh no, haha," like kind of made a joke from it. So I was like, "Okay, there's a saving grace." And we started texting, and he mentioned it again. He was just like, "Oh, do you still think I'm a horrible texter?" And I was like, "Yeah, you haven't changed my mind otherwise." And continued to like just talk. We talked on the phone before our first date, maybe like twice or three times, and it was good. Like he can hold a conversation, like conversation was just flowing. We can talk about a bunch of different topics, which is very important to me. Like I can go from talking about your bra size to what slavery looked like to it can just flow from anywhere, and he could keep up with that. So conversation was good on the phone, so I was just like, okay, so maybe he is just a horrible texter. We go on the date. It was great. Conversation still great. But the texting, after that, the texting did not change. So, what did I hate about the texting? And I'm going to get to the point of the story eventually. So, it was just very dry and brief. I'll pull up an example. So, my example is one day he texted me, "Good morning." I said, "Good morning." Something happened at work. So, I told him about that. Like, I sent a voice memo. And he just said, "Oh, wow. Well, that's good, right?" And I responded, I was just like, "Yeah, it's good. I was just going to be in the office for a short period of time, anyways." He says, "Okay, how's your day going?" I told him how my day was going. And then I said, "What about you?" He sends the word chillin'. That's it. Chillin'. So that seems like you don't want to talk to that person. That's just how I feel. Maybe I'm overanalyzing, but I just feel like one word answers means I don't want to continue this conversation. So then the conversation ends after that. So we had a couple exchanges like that early on. It was just like, okay, you said one word, I'm not texting you back. And I mean, as time went on, I was like, okay, does this guy actually really like me? Because, like, in person, everything was great. Like, conversation's great. Like, there's chemistry. As soon as we text, it was disgusting. I was like, Who is this person? I hate him. He's stupid. He has no personality. But if we talk on the phone, everything's fine. So it was literally via text message. So that was, I had to stop and think about that. I was like, okay, in person, he's fine. Over the phone, he's fine. Maybe he just is a horrible texter. Maybe he just truly is. So me being me, the person I am, I like to Google every situation I go through because there are people that put their lives on the internet. Like people will literally type up their entire life story and then say, "What do you guys think I should do?" And I like to read those kinds of things. Call me a weirdo? Oh well. So I Google it, like signs he's not into you, and I'm gonna read the article, not the article, but I'm gonna read the five things that they said. So the first one was that he doesn't ask you about yourself or your life. Number two is he doesn't reveal things about himself. Number three is he waits too long to set up the next date. Number four is he gives excuses as to why he didn't call you. And then number five was you can't tell he's interested. So while I was reading this, I was like, okay, I think I can tell he's interested. Like when I don't feel like he's not interested. And then when they're giving like timelines, for instance, I'm confused because I guess, again, this is maybe me overreacting. I still don't think I was. These people are saying comments were just like, hey, he waited 8 days to call me and then he called me and set up something. And I was just like, if you haven't talked to him in 8 days, why do you think that's still a thing? So, I mean, when I was reading it, I was like, okay, like when we're out, he does ask me questions about me and my life via text. No, he doesn't. But I also hate texting. So why do I care? But I'm a girl and I'm crazy, right? Two, he doesn't reveal things about himself. He does. He talks about his life, his family with me. He doesn't wait too long to set up the next date. Make sure he makes sure is that like we see each other at least once a week. He tries for two times, but life, right? Um, he gives excuses about why he didn't call. He doesn't really give excuses. He'll just tell me like if I called him, he would just be like, "I'm on a call right now," and then he would call me back. So after realizing that I was being irrational, and here's my disclaimer: I'm also not gonna say he's the perfect guy and I was wrong. I'm not gonna say that. Um, because I'm not gonna tell you guys everything, but I'm still crazy. So after going through, I guess, so many cycles of does he like me or not, it was kind of like picking the daisy. He loves me not. He loves me, he loves me not. I finally just concluded that he he does like me. Um, and I mean, I have communicated that to him as well, but not in that way. It was more like, hey, how do you prefer to communicate? It was more so that. And he was like, I can communicate any kind of way, but I really like seeing you in person and having that in person time. And I was like, okay, that's valid. That makes sense. I see you. Okay, I hear you. So, with that being said, I took it to the streets of Instagram as well because I do think that the signs that I read in the article were very good, but also every situation is not that black and white. You just truly cannot just break it down like that and be like, this is how I know. And also, speaking from a woman's perspective, it can be hard to accept that a guy doesn't like you because, I mean, well, for me, it would be hard for me to accept that a guy doesn't like me because it's just like, I've never ran into a guy that didn't like me or wasn't attracted to me. So, and I don't mean to sound like conceited or vain. It would just be like, in no way you're attracted to me, like not even the slightest. So that was hard for me to wrap my head around. It was just like, well, why wouldn't he? Like, I'm smart, I'm funny, I'm pretty, like, what? So that was one of the main reasons I couldn't believe that he wasn't into me. Guys, don't hate me. I'm sure there were other reasons, but I can't think of them yet. But let me read you the responses now from Instagram. So I asked a question like, how do you know he or she is not into you? Um, Person one, okay. If he or she does not mention hanging out or spending time with you other than through text. So that is true. So if they are just constantly texting you, then that is an issue. They literally just want you to be their pen pal. And I think maybe I was like, why don't you want to be a strong pen pal in everything? Why don't you want to be strong in every area of this relationship? Number two is one-sided communication. Yes, that is very true. If you are the only person communicating, initiating conversation, and all they do is respond, then no, he's not that into you. And I've definitely done that before with a guy, which is why I just feel like karma is coming for me as well, because I know what I have done to guys and how I've treated them. So I do feel like karma is coming for me. Hopefully, karma does not come back to me, but I feel like it may. We've all had those guys that just we only text them because they text us. We would never reach out to them. We would never initiate anything with them. It's literally because they are constantly bugging us and we like the attention and we just go with it. So, third is they ignore your calls or texts. Yes, no one's into anyone that ignores their calls or texts. Doesn't prioritize talking to you or spending one-on-one time. Yes. Inconsistent communication, lack of intrigue. Okay, yep. So if they're not even like asking you questions, like the article mentioned, isn't obsessed with you. This person, that's Taylor. If okay, that's Taylor. Next, one word responses. I would get one word responses. That really made me feel like he wasn't into me. Okay. They don't answer your calls or texts, but is glued to the phone every time you guys are together. Yes, I hate those kind of people. I really do. I have some friends like that. I don't hate them, but I do notice that like they are literally glued to their phone whenever we are together. But if I text them or send something, they will take hours to respond. So it's just like, do you hate me? Like, do you just say you hate me? Okay, off topic. Next is lack of constant communication. I like when I look at my call log and all I see is you. Crying, laughing face. Okay. Yes, constant communication, but not too constant. And I think that's where I got caught up. I, with the guys I've talked to in the past, like literally, they were just on my phone all day long. Like, I am talking to them as I am driving to work, texting them while I'm at work. And it's cute. It really is. But I don't know. I think there's a good and a bad side to it. But too much of anything is too bad. Too much of anything is bad. Okay. Next is doesn't initiate text or hangs, only says IDK when you suggest plans. Yeah, if someone says IDK to you when you say something like that sounds like, yeah, I've definitely done that before too. That means I don't want to go. All right. A lack of follow through. Yes, that's a red flag for anything. And doesn't reach out. Yes, if they don't reach out, it's one sided. They are just not that into you. So, all of those are very strong signs to tell whether or not someone likes you or not. Um, and yeah, I think that's all I want to say about that topic. And as far as like going back to my story, one of my biggest fears was that if someone's not into me and they're just stringing me along, like, am I wasting my time? Because, like, time is valuable. We cannot just be out here wasting our time. So, just thinking that that is a possibility was very frightening for me. I listened to a lot of true crime stories, I listened to a lot of extreme stories podcast about like how someone, for instance, has been dating someone for 3 years and they live together and they found out that this person literally didn't have a job at the place that they said they worked at, was living a complete lie, and they had been living together for 3 years. So in the back of my head, I'm always thinking my life could be a Lifetime movie. And if you grew up watching Lifetime, then you probably also have that same those same thoughts in the back of your head. So, what to do if you come to the conclusion that he's just not that into you and it's not worth your time anymore? I think one, coming to terms with it because it is hard to accept rejection. And it may not be an assertive rejection, it could be very passive, like them just not texting you back, saying IDK, like it's a very soft rejection. But nonetheless, still one, and that could be difficult to process. So I think it is important to just sit and process that rejection because you won't get over it unless you do. Um, I think also it's very important to just take that time for yourself. And I know it sounds very cliche, but you should just work on yourself. Nothing in my and this could be because again I'm a loner. I love doing things by myself. If I can just do it, I will do it. So developing your hobbies is very important. Like play your piano, paint a picture, make a podcast. All those things will help pass the time. And I also do want to add that sometimes it may not be you. Everyone knows this quote, but it's you can be the juiciest, sweetest peach out there, but there's someone that doesn't like peaches. That's just it. And it has nothing to do with you because you're a peach and you're really good, but that person just doesn't like peaches. That's it. They're probably deathly allergic to them, so they just can't have the peach. That's it. And but there is someone out there that loves peaches and they love how juicy and ripe you are. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents on this topic. Let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.